finance
including Africa and outside Africa.
Africa 50 intends to enter into partnerships with various investment groups, from government shareholders to African pension funds, and the most pressing barriers to development of infrastructure.
Sera installé au sud de l'Égypte et qui va permettre de produire de l'énergie renouvelable dans une quantité très importante. L'impact majeur de ce projet est que c'est un projet en énergie renouvelable, projet très innovant dans sa conception, dans son importance, puisqu'il va concurrencer directement les énergies classiques.
In order to support its strong and ambitious vision.
Africa 50's value proposition consists of a number of elements. The first one is our relationship with African governments and the African Development Bank, which allows us to also mitigate risks in specific countries through our high-level engagement with these governments and our shareholders. A second part of our value proposition is our access to deals and projects, again through the relationship we have with African shareholders and the African Development Bank. We also have a highly experienced investment team, and we are continuing to build on that. People who have a demonstrated track record in making deals on the continent.
Plus de financement, Africa 50 est aussi une solution en vue de développer des projets d'infrastructure de façon à les rendre, c'est-à-dire attractifs pour les investisseurs, ce qui a été identifié comme l'un des obstacles majeurs du financement d'infrastructures en Afrique.
Through its value proposition, Africa 50 strives to contribute to the public-private partnership infrastructure agenda throughout the continent and provide support in addressing the most pressing barriers to the development of infrastructure in Africa. To address the most significant needs on the continent, Africa 50 to two sectors projected to collectively absorb 68% of Africa's overall infrastructure funding by 2025.
Africa 50 is prioritizing two sectors, essentially. The first sector is the power sector, because without electricity, it's very difficult to achieve the full economic potential of the continent. So electricity is our number one to prioritize. So our second priority sector is the transport sector. Transport, it's a very important sector because certainly it will help integrate Africa by connecting different regions of the continent, but also it will help connect the production centers to the market. And this is very important, and we need to improve the efficiency of our transport operations on the continent.
With these building blocks in place, Africa 50 is now well positioned to scale up its development, investments and fundraising activities. Africa 50 has already begun developing projects. One of its most recent investments is the Scatex solar project in Egypt.
L'un des projets mis en œuvre par Africa 50 est le projet Scatex Solar Égypte, projet de 300 MW de photovoltaïque solaire.
In 2012, African heads of state called for innovative solutions to accelerate infrastructure delivery. After broad consultations with African stakeholders, the African Development Bank